students, how are you all? I hope you're fine at home. My name is Kumari Neha. I'm working at Bharati Rasanar Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Arkanam, and the topic which we are going to see today is from class 7th chemistry, and it's the 5th lesson, and here we are going to see the separating techniques for a mixture, right? So before going into the chapter, let's see what are these. Do you remember this? In previous session we have talked about the mixtures. So what are mixtures? Mixtures are the combination of two different elements or compound. For example, here you can see different types of mixture, right? So there we have seen how and what types of mixture are there. So in this lesson we are going to see how the separation is being possible, right? Yes. So now let's see first what are the principles for the separation. So children, mixture, if it is solid form, it is easy to pick out. But for example, if it is mixing it well together, then it will be little difficult to remove, right? So for that we are having these 7 principles. So let's see one by one each principle. So first principle is density. So when you are taking the density, you just compare these two places or these two blocks. Here you will see one thing, that when you are comparing here, in this particular space there is only one atom present, right? Same way, if here you are comparing this front side, there is one atom, and back side also there is one atom, right? That means at a particular space, here there is only one and here there are two atoms. That shows that if the number of molecules per unit volume increases, then the density, which is, you can also call it as mass, will increase. So depending upon this density also, it's a principle. Now second one is MP and BP. What's MP and BP? Madhya Pradesh? No, right? It is melting point and boiling point. So now let's see here what is melting point. So here you can see that whenever you are taking a solid, when you want to convert that solid into liquid, you need to apply heat to it, right? So when you are applying heat to it at a particular temperature, the solid will directly get converted into liquid, and that process is known as melting, and the temperature is known as melting point. So here you can write that temperature at which solid converts into liquid is known as melting point. Same way, when you have a liquid and you are heating it, the liquid, when it is heated, it will get converted into gases. Now at what particular temperature the liquid is getting converted into gas is known as boiling point. Okay? Yes. So this is also a property. After that you can see volatility. So what's volatility? I'll show you the diagram and then you tell me. What you can see over here, children? Yes, you are right. Here you can see that the liquid is getting converted into vapor. How fast it will get converted, that process is known as volatility. That means if a liquid gets converted into vapor, it shows that it is a volatile substance, right? Yes. Later on, it's solubility. So I'll show you what's solubility. Now this is the water molecule, okay? Now in this water molecule, if I add these substances, just see what's happening here. It's coming inside, it is breaking and it's getting mixed up, right? So this shows that when a substance is nicely soluble in something, the property is known as solubility, okay? Yes. And then it is sublime. So sublime, I have an interesting thing over here. So here you can see that when all the gas gets converted into vapor, but here you will see that there is no liquid. When the conversion of solid to gas directly it's happening, it's known as sublimation, and the substance which is getting evaporated as a vapor is known as sublime, okay? Then magnetic property. So magnetic property means how well a substance has been attracted by a magnet. Okay. So here also it will depend upon the principle. Okay. And last one is diffusion. So just see here children, what's happening? From close they are just going away, right? So they are getting diffused in the black background. So this property is known as diffusion. Okay. So these are the 7 properties according to which the separation of the mixture has been done. So now let's see what is the first process. So first one is known as evaporation. See children, evaporation comes from the name that vapor. So here vapor will be formed. Okay. So here what we are doing is, for example, we have a mixture of salt and water. Now you know here that salt and water can easily mix up, right? When it is easily mixing up, you will get a clear solution. Now this clear solution, you want your salt back. How you can do is, you can take amount of your water. For example, you take 10 amount of your solution and you keep it in a evaporating dish. Now what you are doing is, you are heating it. Now water is getting boiled at 100 degrees Celsius. When it is 100 degrees Celsius, you will see that all the water which is in liquid form will start going as a vapor, and after a time, like you can talk about like even 30 minutes, you will see that there will be only some white powder which is present down. See here it will be present, and that particular substance will be your salt. Okay. So this is the way how by evaporation you can take out your substance back. Okay. Yes. Second process is known as distillation. So children, distillation is a process in which when you are taking 2 liquids and you are mixing it, the mixing of the liquid is well, plus you will see that the boiling point of the liquids will not be very varying. Now what we are doing is, we are taking 2 things here. Okay. In this again I have taken one solid and I have taken a liquid. Again we will take the example of salt and water. So in distillation I have kept my solution here. When I am heating it, you will see that at 100 degrees Celsius all the water vapor will go up, right? When there is cork here, you will see that the water cannot escape from here. So the other way is here, right? So from here the vapor will come and it will go to this plate, or this is also known as a condenser. What's a condenser children? It is a condenser. So condenser is the equipment which will cool the vapors which are coming. So here again, here the gas will get converted into liquid, it will flow from this side, and finally you can store your pure water here. So this is the process of distillation. So here you can call this pure liquid as distillate. Okay. You can call it as distillate also. You can call it as distilled liquid also. Okay. Yes. Now let's see here one more example, or you can call another process which is known as sublimation. So children, sublimation is a process in which the solid will get directly converted into gas without going into the formation of liquid. So here you can see that we have taken one solid and it is getting evaporated, right? So is it getting evaporated in liquid form? No, right? It is getting evaporated in solid form. So sublimation is a process where sublimation is a process in which solid directly changes to what children? Changes to gas. Okay. So that means sublimation is happening, and same way the substance which is getting converted, it is known as sublime. What it is? Sublime. Okay, yes. Now let's see an example here. Now here I have taken ammonium chloride. With ammonium chloride I have taken some sand. Now this both I have mixed in together. Now what I want to do is I want to separate both of them. So how I will do this? In this I have kept my substance. Now when I am heating it, you will see here that the ammonium chloride is getting evaporated in the form of gas and it will get collected over here. That shows that it is getting converted into a solid. Later on what you can do is you can just open it, and when you are scratching from the sides you will get the ammonium chloride back. So this is a process of sublimation. Okay. See here children, what's here? What is this? It's a very beautiful diagram, right? So this instrument is known as a separating funnel. So separating funnel is used to separate the two immiscible substances or liquids. What it is? Separation of two immiscible liquid. Okay, so here what we are doing is we are taking kerosene and water. Now when we are putting this in a test tube, or you can call it as a separating funnel, that time you will mix it and you will shake it well. Okay, when you are shaking it, keep it for a rest after some time. After 10 to 15 minutes you will see that there will be two layers. See children, here the separation is depending upon the density. So density means here the lighter weight is of kerosene and water is little bit heavy. That means the density of water is more than kerosene. Now these two layers you got. Now what you have to do is below this you have to keep a beaker or a conical flask, anything you can keep. Now you need to open this. When you are opening this, drop by drop your water will come. When the kerosene level will reach this place, you need to stop it. When you are stopping it, you will see that the kerosene is left here and the water is getting separated, right? So this is the way how the two immiscible liquids can be separated. Same way, when you are doing this, you can see over here, they are opening the knob and they are keeping it in the conical flask, right? The liquid is getting transferred. So this is a process, okay? Now let's come to the fractional distillation. There is no much difference between the distillation and fractional distillation. There is only one difference is there solid plus a liquid we have taken, and here we are taking two liquids. That two liquids are mixing it together, that is they are miscible. With them we are taking the boiling point of these liquids. For example, if we are taking ethyl alcohol and water, these both will mix in very well. Now how I should remove them? Can I just heat it and I can remove it? No, right? I need a perfect temperature. So ethyl alcohol will get evaporated at 75 degrees Celsius, and water boiling point is what? Yes, it is 100 degrees Celsius. Now here I have taken ethyl alcohol, which is also known as ethanol, plus water. Now when I am heating it here, first the boiling point is less for ethanol. When it is heating, you will see that the ethanol will get up, it will go up with as a vapor, then it will flow like this, it will flow like this. Here in the condenser, we are keeping the liquid where it will cool, condenser will cool. Cool what children? Cool the vapors. Then later on the vapors will get transferred here in a liquid form and you got the ethanol back, right? Same way, after the ethanol getting separated, you are taking water. Now even after heating so long, you will see that ethanol is getting separated. Now when the thermometer reaches 100 degrees Celsius, you will get to know that water will start getting evaporated. What you have to do is, you have to stop the burner. That means all the ethanol has been transferred and hence the substance is been removed. The mixture has been separated, right? Yes. And now let's see, there is one more example of fractional distillation. See children, fractional distillation is also used by gas furnace, or you can call it as a blast furnace. So here you can see that when you are taking bitumen, which is also known as a chemical which is used to make the roads. Now let's see, if you are taking the substance, or you can call it as a rude or crude oil which you are getting from the ocean, you are placing it here, you will see that at more than 25 degrees Celsius the petroleum gas will get evaporated, it will be captured. Same way from 25 to 60 degree gasoline will come, naphtha will go, and at the temperature between 250 to 300 degrees Celsius you will get the fuel oil which is used by the ships. And last, the temperature which is 350, here you will get the bitumen. Bitumen is, I said you right, bitumen is a chemical, or you can call it as a coal substance which is useful for making the roads. So this is also a process depending upon the boiling point of different substances, right. Now let's see here what is chromatography. So children, according to this diagram, what happens in chromatography is, in chromatography there is separation of the substances. What is there? It is a process of separation of different dissolved components by a liquid, by any liquid, okay. So this process is known as chromatography. For example, now here in the paper I have taken a place, in that place I have added red ink, black ink and blue ink. So when I am adding it and I am keeping a solvent here, so this solvent is also known as a adsorbent. Okay. So adsorbent, that time according to the affinity means attraction, it will go up. When the attraction is faster or it is more, then the movement of the particle will be little slow. So here when you are keeping it under a lead, or you will see that the movement of the inks will be there, and later on you can see that there are 3 different spots of the colors. You will get to know that here the red is more affinate with the solvent and the blue is less efficient, okay? Yes. So this is the way chromatography happens. Now chromatography is of 2 variations. Now first one is solubility of the compound. That means how well a substance can mix into another solvent, or you can also call it as adsorbent. For example, here I have taken 2 balls. Now these 2 balls are little by little getting dissolved, right? So when they are getting dissolved after this level, here it is showing that it is getting soluble, right? Same way when you are taking here this example, which is also known as affinity. Affinity means how strongly it can get bonded. You will see that here when they are coming, they will go to a definite space only. So this shows that only this type will be affinite to the here place and the V type will be affinite to the protein B, right? So this is the way of affination. Yes. Later on, how many solvents you can use. So there are various type of solvents other than water. One example is ethanol, benzene, acetone and carbon tetrachloride. So these are also the amount of solvents which you can use. So benzene can be used for the separation of chemicals. Here ethanol can be used for the cleaning process, or even in pickles sometimes it is used. Then acetone is used for the nail polish remover, right? Yes. Now see children, in this lesson we have talked about the different variations. First we have talked about the principle Principle of what? Principle of separation. After principle of separation, we have seen how the separation techniques are there. Separation techniques. Right? So here in separation techniques we have seen about many techniques. For example, paper chromatography, or what I said as chromatography, distillation, evaporation, then sublimation, and yes, there are fractional distillation and distillation. So children, just go through this lesson, everything whichever we have provided here, right? If you have any doubts, just go back to the slides and just watch it once again. So students, in this lesson we have attached the study material with the red mark as answers. Later on, question bank only with the question for your understanding, and last we have attached the self-assessment. Self-assessment will tell you how much you have understood the lesson, right? Yes. So students, I hope you have enjoyed the session. Be at home, safe at home, plus study at home, okay? Until next time we meet, bye-bye.